Well, I've been waiting to actually kill something with the bow before I talked about the bow setup that I'm running this year. But I want you guys to know just right off the bat, I'm not sponsored by anybody. It's like we've been horrible businessmen about getting sponsored by people because we just like to shoot what we want to shoot. And so I just reached out to the people, the archery equipment that I wanted to shoot, and I was just willing to buy it. And so that's what we did. So the setup I purchased this year was this Matthews VXR. At all the bows that Tom and I shot, we shot a bunch of them at an expo, and we just really liked how smooth these bows were. So we ended up both trying one out, and been really pleased with it so far. And then I reached out to Dan Evans at Option Archery because I did a whole bunch of research online on what kind of a sight to get, and I just really think this sight's a good idea. Last year when I was chasing big bulls around, I did a belly crawl sneak on a bull about a half a mile, and the other brand of sight I had, the whole sight moved up and down, and the lock came undone going through the grass, and my whole sight had moved 15 yards off. And I didn't shoot at that bull, but if I would have, it would have been a miss or a wound. And so I was like, I'm looking for something different. So the thing I love about this sight, and Dan had a really good idea here, is you got your fixed pins all sighted in, and then you have your mover pin for long range. And so if you want to shoot long range, you can flip it out of the way. It's all magnetic, quiet, or you can flip it in like this. In this scenario, where I had to range while I was drawn back, I didn't have time to use my rangefinder. I left it closed, but if I was gonna have a long range shot, it just is so much more simple to have the one pin and not all that clutter. And then, you know, if you need to get a follow-up shot, sometimes I've had them run out at 80 yards and stop, or 88 yards and stop. You can simply dial the one pin and possibly get a kill shot on him. So I keep mine at 60, and I keep this closed. I didn't want, you can buy these in more or less pins, but that's just what I wanted in the color scheme that I wanted, so that's how I ordered it. And then the Hamski Rest, it seems like everybody, that's a really good shot that I know that is in the archery industry, either a hunter or a competition bow shooter was shooting these rests. They've got a little stainless steel spring right here. It's a limb driver, and so I guess some of the other rests were bouncing in the way that these are designed with that spring. It keeps that bounce from happening. With this particular setup and this Matthews quiver, my one arrow was actually rubbing right there on the spring, so I'm not able to pack an arrow there. That was kind of the one downside to that. So yeah, that's pretty much the basics of it. Still shooting my old Scott rest that I haven't done any research on releases lately, but I've been shooting that for a long time. But anyway, that's the setup this year. And then I'm always really fussy about when guys set up my bow. I have Ryan Ferens at Rhino Tough Bowstrings do it. A local kid that's just an incredible shot. Or he's not a kid anymore. He used to be. He's a guy now. And he just does a really good job. I have him wrap the sides, wrap this peep in, tie it in both sides so that thing cannot move. We've had peeps move on us before. And then I have him put serving higher and lower right here. He actually had to redo the factory serving right here. I've got a 30.5-inch draw length, and when I was pulling back, this serving was pinching together, and it just wasn't really tight enough from the factory, but it was pinching together and causing my arrow to jump up on my string when I was drawing my bow back. So Ryan was able to put a nice tight serving on there and put serving top and bottom and my string loop so that sucker will not move. So anyway, there's a couple of little things we've learned over the years of, you know, if it can go wrong, it will. And that's what I chose for this year's setup. I've been really happy with it. This is the first animal I shot. I also tried out these Broadheads for the first time. They're a 4-blade. I think they're called the Grim Reaper or something like that. They fly incredible. They fly exactly what my field tips are. I was hoping for some more blood, but you know, sometimes just depending on the shot. It was a good shot on this bull, but sometimes if you hit them halfway, it takes a while for those lungs to fill up before you get a good blood trail. there's good blood right here where he started blowing out when he died, but to begin with, it was a pretty poor blood trail. And then Ryan at Rhino Archery talked me into these gold tip arrows. They've kind of got a slick coating on them. I guess the idea there is when you shoot an animal, their muscles tighten up, and these things are supposed to just slip right through them. Well, they did. This one did anyway. Went right through them and stuck in the ground. So that's my setup for this year, 2020, and hopefully kill some more animals with it. Tom's got a real similar setup, and he just killed a bull last week, so off to a good start, I'd say. Hopefully we can keep the killing streak happening here.
So we have always enjoyed getting feedback from you. So the big question is, what bows do you guys like to shoot? What broadheads and arrows do you recommend? Let us know in the comments below.